Here's how I was able to get ahead of my software development peers without even using a computer, just using a paper and pencil. Everyone else is hearing Christmas music and I'm hearing nothing. That's when I knew I was in trouble. When I was in college, I took a microprocessor class, and the semester-long project was to create an emulator for a microprocessor that could play music and it could do text art like a Christmas tree and that sort of things. It was a fall semester, so the project would end up near Christmas time. And it was a fun project, unless your emulator didn't work, like mine. I've never been a good student in school, and I knew that I had to do something different to catch up to my peers. I was trying everything, nothing was working, and so we had an opportunity to go away for a weekend with some friends. We went to stay at a friend's house, and while everybody else was watching TV and having a good time, I found a room with a desk and a chair, and I just went in to see if I could figure out this project. And this was before the days of laptops, right? This is back when I had a big CRT computer and a big CPU, and I couldn't take that everywhere with me, and all I had was a piece of paper and a pencil. And I sat down and I said, let me think through this project. And I started to write out code and pseudocode and tried to figure out, if I did this, this would happen. And I erased a lot and just tried to figure out the project. And the next week I went back to the computer lab and I just started to type it all in. Some of it worked, some of it needed to be debugged, but I was able to put a bunch of it just into the project. And a couple of days later, a friend of mine came and sat down next to me and he said, "How's it going?" And I said, "Well, this is where I'm at." And he looked at me and he goes, "How are you that far along?" I said, "Why? Where are you?" He goes, "Not that far." I said, "Really?" And I started talking to the different people in the class. They're like, we aren't that far along. How did you get there?" So I was able to finish the project successfully. I got to hear my Christmas music. I finished the class. I was able to move on with my education, but I was able to come away with something more important. And that is the knowledge that planning beats scrambling, number one. And then number two, thinking beats typing. And if you're able to get clarity on a project or a problem, you're able to move much faster than you would otherwise.